I see mandibular fracture there. Obviously, paracentesis as well. Still coming down. Palatal split. Alveolar, palatal split, multiple segments.
Hurricane, dude, you're fucking memorable. That beautiful face, dude. I could draw that shit. If I ever someone said that you did some crime and they needed a drawing of your face, I could totally tell that crime detective exactly what you look like and who you murdered. I would be able to do that instantly.
This is so nice.
I hope you are ready. Shit is about to get real.
What's going on, people? How are we doing? How are we doing tonight? Can you guys hear me? Oh man, wow, too much audio, too much audio. Let's bring it down here. We're gonna do some med talking, okay? Can you guys hear me? Oh my god, dude, everybody's losing coins. Hey, you know, Crip Walk, what's going on? Hey, you know, one thing I was gonna say is we need to. I was thinking about this. I'm gonna have to restart the stream here soon because unfortunately our stream has no delay. So if I'm gonna do some CS later and I'm gonna play it competitively, I'm not gonna get stream sniped. Okay, so none of that garbage. I'm not doing that today. So I'm gonna have to run up a 35-second delay, but I'm not gonna do that right now. I'll do it later. I'm gonna interact with you guys and do the just chatting, and then I'll cut it off and we'll redo. It'll be fine. Boom, you cannot do. How's everybody doing today? Man, we got a lot of people in the chat already, dude. I walk away, I start the stream, I walk away, get a drink, I come back, and you guys are lighting up the chat, man. So I figure, okay, it's time to start, you know what I mean? It's time to start. Just a quick mic test, though. It's been a few days since I've been on. I do apologize for that. I've been sick as hell. I actually lost a couple followers in the process, but it's what it is. You know. But anyway, so what I was gonna do is real quick. Hold on one second. I just gotta answer DM real quick. Anyway. Anyway, so here's what we're gonna do. Joker bet all of them like the rest of us. So wait. Let me go back. So who lost the most? Wait, did everybody just lose? I see Knives. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go back to the chat. I see First. Cypher wrote First because you were the first one in the chat. Congratulations. Joker said howdy. Then you dropped some Knives. Then I see a bunch of smiley faces. Then I fused some Nip Tuck yesterday. You were thinking of me. Oh, that's good, man. That's good. Except, was I the nip or the tuck is the question. You know what I'm saying? Was it the nip? Was it the nip video that was part of it? You don't have any hurricoins to bet, unfortunately. You're already broke. Okay, I'm just reading through what happened. I'm done. I lost too much. It's rigged. Okay, now it's getting called rigged. Hurricoins. Somebody check the hurricoins. They had 130. Oh, that's what you guys were talking about. Sebas lost 131. Oh, my yikes. God, that's brutal. Anyway, yeah, so, but anyway, so what I was going to say is real quick, guys, what we have here is I'm going to do a little bit of a med talk, okay? So I'm going to pull this up. I want to go over, I kind of want to go over some stuff, specifically performance-enhancing drugs. I think it'll be good. You know, I've been hearing a lot of chatter about this, you know, about, hey, you know, is performance-enhancing drugs going to do anything? in your game? Is it gonna make you better? I'll be honest with you. It is. It's gonna make a difference. It does make a difference. And it does make people better. But you know. So we'll talk about that, and specifically why is that the case, and then I'm going to kind of upload some of this video to YouTube, but it'll be fine. It's a show about sex and plastic surgery. I see. Yeah. I know about Nip Tuck, man. I just haven't, I haven't been on there quite a bit. I mean, I haven't seen it personally. I've heard things. I've heard these things. So anyway. But are there performance-enhancing drugs in esports? You betcha. So Blue Apple is new kind of a new following and addition into the stream probably more often now because he's a CS player, avid CS player. I just want to say shout out to Blue Apple for the fact that he's a chill dude, and I kind of played with him in Fortnite. He actually killed me in a 1v1 in solos. Actually, was it duos? I think it was duos. I was by myself because my partner sucked. And sorry, Tragedy Cypher. No, I'm kidding. You didn't suck. I don't know if I was playing with you, Cypher. I think I was playing with you. Anyway, Blue Apple ended up killing me in the last circle. And he came in, chilled out with us a little bit. And then it turns out that he's actually playing CS now. So, yeah, a long time ago. But it turns out now you're in CS, so welcome over. But anyway, so let's quickly pull this up real quick and see if we can get into some action. I want to talk about performance-enhancing drugs in esports. They have a Reddit article up, okay? This is what I was hoping to show you guys. And kind of go over some of this stuff. Does it happen? Yes, it does. Does hacking happen? Yes, it does, okay? All these things are yes. Sure, Sebas, go for it. Ask me a question. Whatever question. If it has something to do with this, I don't know. If it's the boom replay, I don't know what to tell you. But let me read through here real quick, okay? So performance-enhancing drugs in esports, all right? This is a Reddit article. This is the first time I've read this article. I want to read it to you guys, and then I want to give you my input on what I think about performance-enhancing drugs. Are they a real thing? And that kind of stuff. And I like I said, it is for sure. So one thing we'll go over real quick, okay? This guy wrote an article, okay? This guy's named Rat Kingpin. He said, this is something I've been thinking about a lot lately in Olympic panels, the rising popularity of, the OWL. This is for Overwatch League, okay? This is for the Overwatch League. An article regarding that. And then he kind of goes into the kind of medication may not enhance an athlete's performance. And he talks about mental stimulants, not steroids, obviously. People that have to focus hard for more than 8 hours in a game without getting fatigued or tilted. What's better, banging your hand or whacking off both with your panini? What the fuck? Sebastian, I don't even know how to reply to that. I don't even know what to say. But anyway, cocaine. Yeah, man. No, cocaine is too much. So here's the rundown. I'm gonna read this guy's article. Okay, he's just wondering. He says, honestly, I probably am just overthinking this, and it's blowing up in my head. But does Blizzard have a policy on drugs? Do they even need one? Nah. To be honest with you, I don't think they needed a policy. I don't think they could actually regulate that. I think a doctor's always going to overrule. And if they have a psychiatrist, that they go to for a drug, and they say that they need this drug for ADHD or for sleeping during the day or for any of these reasons, they are most likely going to be able to get a letter from that doctor, including me. I would write a letter to get a patient out of my office. I'm not going to lie to you, saying that this patient I am prescribing this medication to for this reason because this guy needs this for sleep and he needs to take this during the day, whatever. And so therefore that medication then, script will override whatever they have in their ESL policy. I pretty firmly believe that. By the way, shout out to Damon for his birthday. I believe his birthday, was it today or yesterday? I can't remember, man. I was so sleepy, tired, beat up. I can't remember, but I think it was yesterday. Today? Okay, excellent. Hopefully you're having a decent birthday. Dude. But anyway, so seriously, happy birthday. I just thought of that, and I realized I had my cup for the happy birthday, so there you go, okay? There you go. Happy birthday, all right? Good for you. So anyway, shout out to him, okay? All right, so here's the deal. You know, do they need policies because people are chugging back Adderall, okay, blah, blah, blah. You know, they're chugging, Vyvanse and all this type of drugs and Ritalin and blah, blah, blah. Give me your responses, okay. Then people are like, I wrote an article on this. Anyone wants it, PM me. Okay, cool. I'll read his article sometime, but who cares about his article? The simple fact is this, okay? I don't need to go through all this. I'm not going to bore you with commentary. Do Sour Patch Kids qualify as a performance-enhancing drug? Momentarily, maybe for about 10 minutes. Here's the truth, okay? You can't really regulate this. This is something that, good luck, okay? Doctors are going to beat you. I hate to tell you, okay? We win on this because we write a little script, and when we write a little script, that script goes to the patient. Patient takes it to the ESL or what have you, and they're going to be able to get off on it. I don't think there's a way of penalizing people for a medicinal problem or some sort of medical problem that is being treated with a medication. That's going to be very difficult to regulate. But the question is, does it make a difference? And my answer is yes, and everybody should get on one. Okay, if you're going to do an esport and you're going to play it competitively, my answer is yes, and everybody should get on one. It makes a big difference. I'm going to talk from personal experience, okay? I'm going to go ahead and admit it and tell you guys the truth. I have tried PEDs, okay? I have done it myself. Not written for myself, obviously. If I did, I would, I wouldn't have a job, okay? I can't write medications to myself, but I have tried medications in both work, to maintain work-related hours, and also I have tried them in games. And I'm going to tell you right now, they do make a difference. I go back and I watch a VOD of myself on a performance-enhancing drug, and then I watch a VOD of myself coughing and chugging barely getting through with coffee. Totally different gameplay. If you overdo it, then it makes you crazy, and it doesn't make you enhanced at all. It just makes you nuts. But if you do, hey Floffin, how you doing? But if you do a very small amount of a certain performance-enhancing drug, it will influence your ability to be focused for longer periods of time. There's no doubt about that. And it will make a big difference in your gameplay, and that means studying, learning, knowing how to play the game. So what I mean by that is, I'm not saying go and jump on one. I'm not advocating for people to do drugs, but I'm trying to tell you that it does make a difference, and you are absolutely playing against people that are on performance-enhancing drugs. And that bullshit stuff called Rogue Energy, sorry Wong, and that bullshit stuff called G Fuel is nothing more than powdered caffeine. I get that out of a caffeine pill. I get actually a whole drink of that G Fuel out of half a caffeine pill. It's the same amount of milligrams of caffeine. It's just that they're spreading it over a drink. There's nothing special about that, okay? It's basically watered down Red Bull with caffeine. You got to know what's inside of these things before you go for it. So you got G Fuel, you got Rogue Energy, and you got all these streaming and gaming enhancing drinks. And do they make a difference? Yes, because they're caffeine. Yes, they momentarily help your focus. Now, I'm going to slow down my talk. I know I'm talking kind of fast and Floffin's in the room. I want to slow it down so people understand what I'm trying to explain. G Fuel and Rogue Energy have caffeine supplement with vitamin-based supplements, okay? We can pull up the ingredients and look through them one by one if you want. They may have ginseng. I'm not sure if they have ginseng or not. Somebody could check that. But these drinks all include basic stuff that you can get over the counter with a caffeine pill or with a cup of coffee or espresso or Red Bull. Okay, Red Bull is actually the best form of that, if you ask me. It's the most concentrated form of that. Okay, in my opinion, for my personal use. Now, people may say Monster Energy helps them out more or whatever, but they're all basically the same thing. High in vitamin B12, high in caffeine, high in ginseng. All these different supplements, we can go through the body and explain how they work on the body, okay? But you need to understand that all of those are nothing more than just performance-enhancing drugs, but they're weaker, okay? They're all performance-enhancing drugs. Caffeine is a drug, okay? The vitamin is a vitamin, but the way that it's being formulated in a drink like G Fuel or in Red Bull is being used, is being formulated to cause a drug-like reaction, okay, to help modify, to enhance your performance. These are performance-enhancing drugs, okay, by definition. But mainly caffeine, of course, that's a performance-enhancing drug. Now, what do these do? Okay, how do they work on the brain? Let's see if we can pull up a. I'd like to be able to see if I can get this. Performance enhancing. No, I want to get caffeine effect on the brain. It's an 80. It's an ADP receptor blocker. Okay. I'd like to show a brain chemistry thing of it though. Caffeine. ADP receptor blocker. Let's see if we can get a little like a receptor antagonist, adenosine receptor antagonist. Sorry, let me be clear. Yeah, let's see if we can get a little. Is this a good picture or not? This looks a little complicated for me to explain to you guys. I'm trying to show you a very simple form of what it does, what caffeine does. Okay. And it's important to know this because, see, caffeine is a drug. There you go. There's your answer, okay? So even caffeine considered a performance-enhancing drug. So that's why it's so hard to regulate, like, what is allowed and what's not, you know? I mean, they'd have to draw it out on a piece of paper. Let me see if this is it. You know, I'm probably going to just need... I'd be better off drawing this myself than trying to Google it. But simply put, let me just hit you guys with the high point, okay? We can use this kind of picture. Don't look at any of this stuff. I'm just going to explain it, okay? This right here, this blue thing, okay, this blue thing right here is basically a neuron, okay, coming in. This is a efferent neuron, meaning afferent, okay? I'm going to make it simple. This is called afferent neurons, meaning it is the neuron that comes in, and then this would be an efferent neuron, okay? Efferent meaning going out. To understand how this works, afferent neurons will bring a signal in, and then the efferent neurons take that signal and carry it on to the next neuron. Your brain is wired like this with multiple different, what do you call it? It's basically like multiple different extension cords, okay? All plugged in over and over again. So extension cord, extension cord, extension cord, extension cord, all the way to some pathway. And it's important to understand that when you have these all lined up, okay, if they all work at the same time, they create a response, and your brain remembers something, okay, or it sees something. It sees something on the screen, it goes all the way through, and it says, okay, I made an input, and now it understands. Like, for instance, the eye. Your eye gets light touches the back of the eye. That causes a electrical response at the base of the eye. That is carried back into part of the midbrain, actually through itself, through its own electrical cords, to the midbrain, and then out to the back of the brain. And that then is kind of projected on the back of your brain, which creates a visual effect, okay? So that actually brings the question, I'm not going to try to get too distracted, but that brings the question if what we really see is actually anything real, because we're seeing things that are perceived electrical responses. So that's how we're seeing things, right? But let's continue. Let's not get confused. The fact is that if you look at these neurons, okay, the way that they work, when you have caffeine involved in the parts of the brain for concentration, okay, we were talking about eye and how the eye, receives electrical inputs and then creates a projector on the back of the brain. But if you're talking about concentration, like not learning new things, but staying focused on things you know, okay. So for instance, example, I'm sitting on a corner, okay. I'm sitting on a corner, watching the B site of Cash, okay, on the game Counter-Strike, and I'm watching the bomb, and people are telling me that they're going to be coming through B site Cash. They're coming through heaven. And so I'm watching heaven. I'm watching it very closely with my mouse and keyboard, okay? That is something I already know how to do, okay? I already know how to do that. That process is already there, but to stay concentrated on that process and to have the reaction time to pull the trigger and kill the guy, mouse click, kill the guy, that reactive time is its own process, okay? Which is enhanced by a drug called caffeine. Simple talk, but we're going to go through it detailed. Are you streaming, Urkala? Sorry, side note. Looks like you're streaming based on my little, you got like a little, action board thing going on your name. Anyway, the way this works, that's kind of cool if you are. The way this works, okay, is that you have you're concentrated. Okay. All right. you're concentrated on a task, okay? You're concentrated on looking at that doorway, watching for the guy to come through. A tired person, somebody that's tired, okay? Somebody that's not really awake, somebody that's not really, not really there. They're tired. Their reflexes are slow. Why are their reflexes slow? Because they're tired. That's how we know it. But let me explain what that means. They're tired because their response time they're not going to fire off all those neurons at the same time the threshold is not going to be there. The threshold is not there energy-wise, okay? Quicker enough. It's not there quick enough. Keyword. It's not there quick enough. Okay, it's there. They can react. A tired person can react, but it's not there quick enough. It's not enough of a volume of the what we call ATP, okay, which is if you guys took basic biology, you'll understand that's adenosine triphosphate, okay? So that is a adenosine group attached to 3 little phosphate groups in chemistry. That is one molecule of energy, okay? And those molecules of energy are going to sit right here, okay? Oh, you can't see my cursor. Shit. They're going to sit right, damn it. Hold on, let me fix that. Sorry. Let me fix that so I can capture cursor. Come on now. What's so special about this, folks? I love how every time I work on something, it's still... Okay, here we go. They're going to capture the cursor now? No, it's not. Okay, well, that's nice. It's so cute. Let's turn that off for a second. Maybe that's the problem. Nope. Doesn't capture it, just shows it highlighting things. Okay, well, fine. You can see where the blue stuff is, right? You see that blue stuff on the first neuron, the first one on the left? Those blue little molecules, okay? You don't need to know what those mean. All you need to understand is caffeine, or not caffeine, forget what I just said. Those blue molecules are your energy, okay? The energy molecules needed to create a response in the brain, okay? Caffeine, the reason caffeine is going to make this process easier, we'll get to in a second, but those blue molecules are released normally. This is from normal people. Those blue molecules are released into the area that you see between those two neurons, okay, between those two neurons, and that is going to create energy in that area, which tells that neuron on the right, the gray one, we need to remember something. We need to click the button mouse to kill the guy. We need to click the button mouse to kill the guy, okay? The gray button is, the gray neuron needs to know, do I need to kill the guy? Do I need to kill the guy? Do I need to kill the guy? The guy on the blue neuron, the blue brain signal, blue extension cord is saying, I don't have enough response. I don't know if I need to kill the guy yet, okay? Now it sees the guy. Now you see the guy in the window, okay, that you want to shoot with the gun, okay, on the game. Obviously, we're talking about games, not real people, okay? And you see the guy come in the window. The blue neuron says, I see him. It releases the energy into the middle area that you see between those two neurons. The gray neuron sees that energy as a response and fires and says, let's shoot him. Okay. Do you understand how that basically works? Do you understand the basics of that? That's a normal response. The same way I'm talking, my brain has decided, okay, I need to say something. Energy is being used on one end and passed through the other. Basic understanding. If you understand that basis, okay, that simple basis, then you understand that caffeine, the way caffeine works, is it stops the breakdown of that energy between those two neurons. Between those two, it stops the breakdown of the energy. Okay? So the energy that's already been released from one side, from the left neuron, the guy receiving the information saying, I see the guy kind of thing, that energy is now released into the center. But what stops that energy from being broken down is caffeine. That's why caffeine works for people that are not super tired, but it maintains their level of focus. That's how it does it. Okay, let's understand that, okay? Now let's go to the next level. What does a medication like, well, let's talk about, should we talk about cocaine or should we talk about meth? Well, let's talk about Adderall. What does Adderall do? Okay, So caffeine will stop the current energy that you've released, the energy you've put out. It'll stop that from being broken down. Adderall will take that energy and add to it. So it not only stops it from being broken down, but it actively releases more energy in a different form called dopamine into the synapse, releases even more actively, pumps it out. Okay? Pumps it out. Pumps it out. Pumps it out. Even if you're not tired, even if you're wanting to go to bed, even if you're not that worried about the game, even if you're doing fine, it's pumping that energy out. Boom, 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 okay? Into that center synapse, okay? Into that middle area. Grizz, how you doing, man? Been a while since I've seen you, man. I'm going to continue this. Ciprolex. I'll have to look up that one, dude. I don't really know that one. That's a sad news. I'll have to look this one up. Escitalopram. Oh, okay. We could talk about SSRIs. Yeah, I'll talk about that too. Sure. Not a problem. Oh, you did? Well, you have to tell me what happened. You'd have to tell me what's going on, because I figured something was up. I knew you wouldn't just disappear for nothing. I knew there was something going on. So, yeah, let me know. You don't have to let me know in the chat. I mean, you can DM me or something, but I'm curious to, if there's anything I can do, man, let me know. You went to Vanderbilt, so yeah, let me know. Heart issues for my resting heart rate was like 100. So what did they figure out that it was? Did they say that it was like I was trying to say, I forgot the name of the damn block. It's Wernicke, not a Wernicke. What am I saying? Making shit up. Did they say it was basically a non-AV nodal pathway? Or you'll have to tell me later. I'm curious. But yeah, I don't want to get distracted from the point I'm about to make. But definitely tell me, okay? I'm curious about this. Because that is a very high resting heart rate. You have to use another fucking Holter, and they are talking about another ablation. Oh my God! So you've already had an ablation, and you got a Holter monitor. Well, that's for 24 hours. That's not long, right? They're only going to make you have it 24 hours, right? 2 weeks? Oh shit, that sucks. Oh, that sucks. I mean, I'm wearing a sort of Holter monitor right now for this game. You see? You see my bra? So I'm right there with you. See? There's my heart rate. But not for 2 weeks. Man, that sucks. And yours is much heavier. Yours has all sorts of gear on it. I know. Yeah. I know. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. You need to do that though, because they're probably going to look for any type of arrhythmia, obviously. Talking about another ablation, because clearly it didn't work. If they still have a heart rate that's high, then you have another aberrant pathway. We can talk about those pathways actually in just a second. We can actually segue that in if you want to. We can go over some of that. But if you've already had an ablation and you still have a high heart rate, then you definitely you still have another pathway going on. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you've had a loop recorder for 3 years? God. Yeah, man. I'm sorry, dude. But at least it seems like you're getting taken care of the right way. At least people are on top of this. So you do not want to be walking around the streets with that heart rate and thinking you're totally cool when you're in your 40s and then dropping dead. You won't even make it to your 40s. I'm not mean to be a dick, but seriously, like if you even exercise a moment and you have a heart rate into 170s and you don't know about it and you weren't treating it, that'd be a problem. So at least you're aware of it. You can treat it. You can work on it. It's something that can be, at least it sounds like they're trying to guide you in the right way and they're trying to do the right thing. Holter monitor is definitely the right pathway because they got to catch where this heart rate spikes and when does it spike and that kind of stuff. Okay. Yeah. Well, then there you go. A little bit of that. But that's the catch with the Holter, yeah. What do you mean? Fill me in. Fill me in. Harder to catch. Medicine, less episodes. Yeah. But if I go off the medicine, my heart rate and blood pressure go haywire. Yeah, well, see, that's the thing, man. That's the thing. Huh. Well, I mean, clearly they got it controlled, okay? So clearly they got some control on it. The problem is that, yeah, it's harder to catch. That's why they're having you on it for 2 weeks. I get you. But it's better to risk benefit, right? They figure you can torture for 2 weeks, but you can stay healthier with the medication. So they say, screw it, keep the, you know. There's going to be a lot of this, Guriz. I don't think it's going to get easier anytime immediately. So you just got to be in the mindset of this is a long road and it's going to take 6 months for this thing to be sorted out. But hopefully they'll ablate it. And once they do, you'll be sorted out. It sounds to me like you have an aberrant pathway. I forgot the name of the damn thing. It's been so long, man, since I've studied this, specifically this pathway. But there's a pathway that goes around the AV node. SA to AV node, right? SA to AV node is how your normal pathway goes. But you go SA around the heart. And so I forgot the name of the damn thing. Since you're bringing this up. I don't want to lose my train of thought, though, and finish this, but I'm going to come back to that. It's a Band-Aid for a much bigger problem, though. My other problems, yeah. Well, fill me in, man. Hopefully, are you feeling better is the question. Are you feeling better right now? That is my current question to you. No? Shit. All right. Well. Not even with the bistolic, huh? Probably makes you a little bit... Probably when you stand up, it gets a little dizzy. You get a little dizzy. Yeah. Yeah, it's... yeah, that's unfortunate. But, I mean, it's just... They're trying to work on it, so I think that they're doing the... Honestly, I think they're doing the right thing from what it sounds like. If you have a heart rate that's that high, they're treating it, number one. Number two, they're looking to make more diagnosis. And number three, they're looking to burn it, okay? Yeah. But it's going to say fuck you, and hopefully we'll get an answer for you, man. Definitely don't push yourself too hard in games, though. Seriously. I don't mean to tell you not to do things, but you should have fun, but I wouldn't push yourself with a lot of caffeine and staying up late and doing a lot of hardcore stuff. I wouldn't do any of that, you know? Yeah. I'd stay in a chill mode, you know? It's just because you don't want to yeah. Completely cut caffeine out. Yeah, you have to, yeah. Yeah. Don't listen to anything I'm saying. I'll tell you that right now. Everything I'm talking about right now is performance enhancing drugs and how they improve gameplay and stuff, and I don't want to get you into the hype zone of doing something wrong for yourself. You definitely can create arrhythmias with this stuff that I'm talking about, caffeine and Adderall and all this stuff. But these things really do work for performance enhancing drugs, at least. But from your standpoint, bistolic is the right thing. Sounds like they got you sorted out on that end. You're gonna feel like shit on it, and you got to stand up slowly, and you got to listen to your body, and you got to wear the Holter monitor. Because here's the other thing. Having the monitor on, in the event that you do pass out and something happens and you do go down and you fall down in a sudden cardiac arrest, they have the Holter monitor to see exactly what happened. And then when they do the, I'm saying this is horrible, worst case scenario, okay? I'm talking kind of generically, I know, but worst case scenario, you pass out. You're like, oh my God, you pass out. Somebody's, doesn't know what's going on. They have the monitor, okay? So they can see exactly what happened before the event. And then also, you have a history on that, so that is, I would definitely listen to what they're saying. But it sounds like you're gonna, if you have still a heart rate that's running high without the medication, then yes, I agree with them. You're gonna need an ablation. Yeah. Well, that happens. I wouldn't blame the resident. I wouldn't blame the trainee. I wouldn't blame any of those guys. They probably had the big boss in there too, looking for it, and they just the way the heart works. We can go into that, but the way the heart works is that it's a damn muscle. Okay, it's a muscle, and so you take a bite of some of the muscle and you burn it. That's what they do, literally. They take a bite of some of the muscle. We can watch an ablation if you want to see it. They take a bite of some of the muscle and they burn it. So they kill that little pathway, that electrical pathway. That exactly what I'm talking about, by the way. Just inside the heart, they kill that pathway so that it doesn't go the wrong way, and so your heart beats through the middle like it should. The problem is they can't tell if it's all of it until they wake you up and they watch you do normal activities. sometimes they can watch it for a little bit under the OR, obviously, and they see it and they say the heart rate looks normal and all this, but you're also under anesthesia. You also have other medications on board, so it's kind of hard to tell. And it's like, okay, well, it looks okay for right now, but we can't keep them in the OR for 2 weeks. You know, they can't keep you they can't keep you asleep for 2 weeks. That's not right. So they have to wake you up. Yeah, they'll probably do that. Oh, they woke you. Well, they did that intentionally. They probably did that intentionally. Woke you, not intentionally to the point where you're like, oh my God, I'm awake. They probably woke you up just enough so that you can get a little bit of a heart response so they can see if they got it. And they probably, one or two things happened. You probably got a little chaotic, and then they got, okay, put them back to sleep. Or you woke up and they didn't get a response. And so it said, okay, well, the heart looks okay for now. I mean, it's a trial and error, you know? Yeah. Yeah. So clearly, sounds like they were trying to find it. That's what that tells me. Your heart rate went crazy. They probably were thinking, that's too high. They put you back to sleep. They looked for it again. They ablated something else, and they said, okay, we're done. 7 hours in this case, we're going to close out. We're going to be done for now, and we'll see what happens. But at least they're aware of it. You're getting treated for it. You're doing the right things. I wish you the best, man. This is a big piece. This is something that, yeah, this is a big thing, you know. So, and you said you had other medical problems and stuff, but this one takes the cake, I would say. You know, anything on the heart. So, definitely wish you the best, obviously, and everybody that's kind of hanging out, you know, wishes you, I'm sure. And the thing is that we'll keep us updated, man. I definitely want to hear more about when you're going to get your second ablation and that kind of stuff, okay? Because you're going to need it. I think that's the right. Rheumatologist. What is your opinion on rheumatologists at Vanderbilt? My opinion on Vanderbilt is they're the top notch, man. They're some of the top. You got the best academics in the country in Vanderbilt and Duke. You got them in Miami. Shout out to Miami. But you got them in all these big universities, right? So Vanderbilt's one of those names. I would say Vanderbilt in the top 10. Rheumatology department, I can't comment on directly. I don't know any of them personally. But what I can tell you is that if they are at Vanderbilt, they're likely to be well-renowned and strong. It's not an easy program to get into, even if I was going into family medicine. If I wanted to go into family medicine or just to learn how to stick shots in a kid, to go to Vanderbilt to just stick shots in a kid would, you know, for the flu, would be difficult for a medical doctor to get to that point. So they're smart, okay? Likely smarter than me, for sure. No doubt about it. That's how I think about it. Are they smarter than me? Yes. Okay? But the question is whether or not, you know, they treat your problem directly, if they have the humanity component. I'm sure they do. They're very good. But you got to understand that what they might tell you is one thing, but they're working on other things in their head too. So I'm sure they'll try to do the best, excuse me, to inform you and what have you, and to fill you in. But just be patient with them would be my answer. But yeah, so that's my thought on that. But yeah, where's my restream chat? There it is. Let's do a quick testing. Just want to make sure my restream chats are flying through. Facebook viewer 2, welcome. We're just kind of chilling out here talking about a little bit about medicine, and then we'll drop into some CSGO in a little bit. We're just doing a little medical talk. I kind of want to finish up my point on this, and then actually we can go over the heart too if you want to, Gariz, but I'm sure you've heard plenty of it. You've gone through it plenty. But anyway. So, yeah. MTM boys. Oh yeah, see, okay, good. Testing, it worked out. Do your thing, amigo. No, I do. I kind of want to go over the heart too, since you brought it up. It does have an effect on the heart. We need to bring. Let's bring that in. Okay, so I want to go over first. What does a performance enhancing drug do? What is a performance enhancing drug? Number one, we got to define that, right? And then after we define that, what is an ablation PMS Kentucky gal? First of all, that's a badass name. Okay, first of all. Second of all, where in Kentucky are you from? Because I was born in Kentucky, so The question is, do you actually personally know me? You might have found me from my Facebook or something and dropped in. Oh, Covington. No, I don't know that. No, I don't know. I do. I mean, I do know Covington, but I didn't live there. I was born in Louisville, as they say. You know, I should say it right. But anyway, yeah. So, but anyway, my family lives over in. Oh, you went to UK? Excellent. Okay, great to have you. Glad to have you. Welcome to the stream. We had yeah, my family lives in somewhere called Corbin. You may not know that place, Barberville, Kentucky, and Corbin, and that's in eastern, kind of southeastern Kentucky. And then there's Louisville. But anyway, I don't want to narrow out the chat that's chilling here. I want to focus on what we're doing, and I want to answer your question. So, what is an ablation? Wow, this is taking a turn. That's good though. I don't mind that. We'll shut up about the performance enhancing drugs thing for now. If you guys want me to return to it, I will. I'll come back to it, but I do want to just finish with one point. Caffeine. The reason caffeine is not as strong as Adderall is because Adderall actively releases dopamine. Okay, actively releases dopamine and ATP from that left neuron. Okay, releases it actively. Whereas caffeine stops already released energy from breaking down. So caffeine will only band-aid your tiredness. It will stop you from feeling it. But what is going to actively pump energy into your brain and to like juice up the juice is actually speed, to be honest with you. Now, if you want to talk about the side of if you want to talk about Red Bull abuse, yeah, that would be me. But if you want to talk about Red Bull use and that kind of stuff, the high levels of vitamin B12 and vitamin B actually crank pathways of energy production forward. It forces it forward in your liver. That's kind of how that works. It stops working over time because your body realizes it's stupid, but it forces it biochemically forward. Okay, at least that's part of my theory, but that's more of a theory. Okay, I can't say that as a fact. What I can tell you as a fact is that Adderall, like I said, actively releases from one side to the other, whereas caffeine stops the breakdown within the middle part of those two neurons, which is why drugs like Adderall will push your brain forward into being performance enhancing for sure. Okay, in video games, your concentration is going to be twice as much. We're not using it now, by the way. I'll tell you when we're going to use it. Okay, I'll say, hey, we're going to use a performance enhancing drug tonight. I'll show you the difference in my gameplay. But if you guys were very watch closely, a game that I will go 25 and 10 is because there's something on board. Okay, if I'm breaking even, it's because I'm on Red Bull and I'm caffeined. But if I'm destroying it, and then I mean just fucking crushing people, everybody around me, and people think I'm on the cheating the game or something, it's cheating in the brain. Okay, so it's just a little cocktail. So just be aware this is how this thing works, and people definitely use it, and I definitely would use it. I'm not gonna lie to you, I would definitely use it if I was in an esports situation, because half those guys are. So, well, of course, anyone's going to use something to get an edge. It's just the way this world works. Now, I want to go back to these questions. So, what is an ablation? Let's talk about the heart. Okay? So, let's go through the heart real quick. Pathway, hold on. How do I want to do this? Pacemaker cells, heart, okay? All right, pacemaker potential. This is how the heart works, okay? It's very similar. But anyway, this is exactly how the brain works, but they have their own set of, it's very similar how the brain works, but the heart does it on its own brain, if that makes sense. It has its own electrical cables, okay? The brain, believe it or not, does not tell your heart. It does not. You guys can go Google it. It does not tell your heart how to beat. Your heart beats on its own. It does its own thing, okay? So your heart actually decides, I'm going to do a beat on its own. When it goes boom, boom, okay, when you see this little heart rate monitor I got here, when I get a beat, that beat is decided from here, okay? That being said, your brain does have some inputs, but it's different. It's not to make that first beat, okay? It might drive the idea of maybe, hey, heart beat faster, but the heart decides, I'm going to beat on my own, okay? That's how it works. So let me, I'm not going to go through the anatomy of the heart and stuff, okay? We're not going to do all this right now. I don't want to bore the hell out of you guys. But if you guys want me to go through some of this stuff, we can. Just understand that's what a heart looks like, okay, in a human. Roughly, okay? I'm going to go ahead and just tell you where some of these things are, okay? Right up here, in this area right here, is where we kind of actually a little lower. It's like right here. Is something called the is something called the sinoatrial node, okay? It is the SA node sits right in this area, and it is the pacemaker of the heart, okay? Now, when I say the pacemaker of the heart, I don't mean the one that is in your old grandfather that's, you know, I got my pacemaker yesterday, I got it interrogated, I got my pacemaker checked. No, it's not in that guy, okay? The pacemaker is actually a pacemaker of your heart, okay? Before you had to have some sort of, you know, thing done. A normal healthy heart has one, and it's right there. What happens is this pacemaker, okay, sends out fibers just like the brain, okay, sends out fibers actually this way and this way, but they kind of come down, and then they kind of come, so they make a little heart. They actually make a little heart. That's how they do. They go whoop. That's how the normal ones do, and they meet right around here, okay, actually right around there, physically, deep in that muscle, at somewhere called the AV node. AV, do you guys have any idea what AV might stand for? Sorry for my coughing. I'm sick. I'm still sick. This is so awesome. Thank you, Kentucky guy. I'm glad you like it. I'm going to try to do this every week, as well as you know, I play my games and I do my stuff. We go a little crazy in here. We do a lot of profanity too, so you might want to watch out for that. But what I would say is, yeah, if you enjoy this, you know, feel free to hit the follow button, follow us, and see what we're going to do. I'll probably post some of this content also on YouTube, okay? So I'll definitely try to do that. If I use, Guriz says, if I used it, I would be 100% insane, but my heart would say, oh, yeah, exactly. In science class, we are learning about the heart. Excellent, Sebas. So now you're getting to learn a lot, dude. That's perfect. Perfect timing. Now you're going to be like the boss, man. You're going to be the Sebas. I have one other question. How much anxiety affect your heart rate? Oh, it does. It does. It does affect your heart rate. Anxiety tells your from your brain to your heart. It tells your brain. It releases from your adrenal glands a hormone called basically an epinephrine. Okay, it releases like an epinephrine from your adrenal glands. Okay, when that gets released, because your brain thinks, I'm dying, I'm in anxiety, I'm dying. Your adrenal glands are directly linked to your brain. So your brain tells your adrenal glands, let's kick out this hormone that's going to keep us alive, right? So that hormone goes to your heart through the blood, and your heart says, why the hell do we have this much hormone? This is bad. We got to run. So then your heart rate goes up. But your heart rate goes up indirectly. It's not because your brain does have some control. That's what I was trying to say. It does have some control on your heart, but your heart ultimately is in control of itself. It just is monitoring your blood flow, and it takes some of those chemicals out of the blood, and it turns up the speed if it needs to. Okay, but it definitely has a play in it for sure, and it does it through a brain to adrenal gland pathway. Okay. So it's actually a suprarenal gland, adrenal gland, same thing. But anyway, we can continue this. Oh yeah, and thanks a lot, Doc. I got sick after watching your last stream. Ended up projectile vomiting. See, I told you, Irk. We were all getting sick. It was going down. I couldn't help it. I was literally coughing my brains out. I was getting followers coming in, and I was like, I appreciate the follow. I was like, it was horrible. I could not get myself better. It was horrendous. But anyway, let's continue, okay? So what are pacemaker cells? Well, I'm kind of going over it, okay? So pacemaker, like I said, starts right here, okay? Comes down. Oh, well, you can't see it. Starts in the top left corner. See, I need to get my cursor fixed. Why does my cursor not show up? I don't get it. That's so not cool, man. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I just have to click the window, I guess. All right. Starts here. Kind of makes a little heart. Comes down to here. There you go. Okay. And right there is the AV node. Once you're at the it's called the AV node because it stands for atrial ventricular. AV. AV. Connection between the atrium, the left and right, and the left and right ventricle. It's called the AV node. It sits right there in the middle of the heart. Okay. So again, SA node, which is called the sinoatrial node. That's the main one. Starts here. Goes to the atrioventricular node, which is right in the middle of the heart. And then that branches across both ventricles, okay, out. Like this. Like little hairs, okay? And they come all the way around the heart, and they wrap up, and they wrap up. And what happens is, when your heart beats, it starts here. It pumps right here, which is why your atrial contract, pumping blood into your ventricles. connecting to your AV node, which then tells the rest of the heart stop moving. Okay, around the from the top, tells the top part of the heart to stop moving, so it can be coordinated, and then the signal continues down through the ventricle. Okay, at a different pace, regulated by this AV node. Regulated. Think of it as a power drop down. Okay, and it continues through the ventricles, and those hair-like projections, like I'm talking about, all contract or all tell the heart to contract, which contracts the ventricles together and pushes the heart out or pushes the blood out. Okay, to the brain, and also to the other side of the lungs, and likewise. So that's how the normal beat is. Okay. When you have an ablation, since that was a question, Kentucky Gal, if you're still hanging out, you wanted that question answered. I did not mean to ignore you. If you want that ablation, if you want to understand what an ablation is, ablation stops what we call an aberrant pathway. Aberrant means not correct or not the main pathway. Okay, it stops the aberrant pathway from igniting. So we know that we want to go from this part of the heart down to the middle part of the heart, down to the bottom of the heart, and then wrapping around like this, right? We know that's the normal pathway. But if you have an aberrant pathway, like Gariz has been explaining about himself, okay, he's been explaining that he's had an ablation and he needs another one because his heart rate gets too high. His heart rate gets too high because he's having something called, from what I understand, now I don't know his exact medical setup, I don't know his EKG, I don't see all his paperwork, but I'm telling you, just because I know he's a young adult and he's talking about numbers in the 170s, that's what we call a supraventricular, meaning above, supra, S-U-P-R-A, supra, above the ventricle, supraventricular tachycardia. It's a big word. Okay, I'm going to type it out. Supraventricular tachycardia. Okay. Let's see if that'll connect through. So that is it's called SVT, okay? That's the simple way to remember it. And the way that works is that you have this heart pathway is interrupted because you have a let me click my screen again. You have a pathway that unfortunately may connect to the both atrium, and it does its own thing. Okay? So you have the main pathway. Gariz wouldn't be alive, obviously. None of us would be alive if we didn't have this main pathway from here to the middle to down to the bottom of the heart. That causes the whole contraction, like this. Okay? So it allows, I look like I'm grabbing, look like I'm doing something provocative here. But anyway, you get my point. It comes down the middle and does this little loop. All right? So that's the normal pathway. But when you have an aberrant pathway, you start from here. So he has this pathway. But then an aberrant pathway goes from the SA node across the ventricle, across the atrium to the other atrium. And that pathway exists on its own, while this pathway also exists. So there's two pathways. And when there's two pathways, okay. Dude, some crackers just took adult teeth out of my child's mouth. Whoa. Okay, you have to tell me about this, man. Let me finish this point here, though. Wow, I'm filling in some people that have some medical things going on. Well, we'll talk about that. Just give me a second. First of all, that sounds a little dramatic. That sounds like if everything's okay, cool. If everything's not okay, consult your 911 or something, okay? If he's losing teeth fast and bleeding or something. Don't be in here, obviously. It's the wrong room. But if you're wanting to get some answers on why that might happen, I can try to help. And I need to know how old he is and all that stuff. So, but anyway, so what we do here is this aberrant pathway. I want to finish this point, okay? The aberrant pathway, meaning the wrong pathway, okay, that exists here is what was ablated or attempted to be ablated, meaning cut, literally cut with either a scissor or a burning. Usually it's done with burning. We burn it, okay? We burn the muscle. We literally we kill a part of the heart. We do that intentionally, okay, to stop that electrical impulse so that he doesn't get two heart rates. Because what's happening is Gariz is getting a heart rate from here, and he's getting a heart rate through here. Okay, he's getting two heart rates. He's getting one through here, which is telling him to beat at about 90 beats per minute. And then he's getting one here that's telling him to beat about 120, 130. You add those together, he's up into 200s, okay? He's beating, his heart starts to what we call almost quiver, okay? The top part of the heart goes too fast is the way to think of it. and it overexcites the pathway, and it tells the middle part of the heart, we got to go faster, even though it doesn't. So when you burn that pathway, you stop that side pathway and you maintain the main pathway. It almost works immediately. When ablation works, it works. It works immediately because you kill that part of the heart, the signal that is doing that, and you stop seeing this pathway. You stop seeing it work. You literally stop seeing it work. I'm not sure if he had it done openly. I'm sure he didn't. But if you have an open pass, then you can see this directly. But if you're having this done under anesthesia like he was having, and he said he woke up and he had a 220 heart rate, that means that a couple things. He might have just been also waking up in the OR and nervous and what have you. 220 is a little extreme, a lot extreme actually. That's stroke potential. But that would mean that would suggest, not mean, it would suggest that his side pathway here is still kind of around, okay, and that it's doing its own thing. It's saying, oh my God, and it's beating really fast. And actually, it's probably feeling his anxiety. His anxiety probably makes this worse. If you have anxiety, it makes this worse. Okay? So, but anyway, that's how an ablation works. We can watch an ablation video now that I've explained it. Okay. Let's see, I can watch an ablation video. Oh, this is a nice little ablation video. You can just watch a quick video. Some old woman talking about this stuff from Cleveland Clinic. Let's mute her. I don't want to hear her. I can't hear her, so I don't know how loud she is. We just want to show you the high point. She's showing how an ablation works. Some doctors talking about it. Okay, he's talking about the regular pathway. And how is he going to show the ablation? Let's see. Oh, they always stimulate the heart. Okay, he's talking about the nodes, the pathways, how the signal's supposed to travel in the heart. Okay, but he's showing it sideways. It looks kind of weird. Let me see here. Yeah, so we send a catheter up. That's usually how it's done, okay? I've never physically done one of these. It'd be kind of cool if I had, but no. But then again, I'm not a cardiologist, so maybe one day, you know, I can go talk to a cardiologist and be like, hey, man, I'd like to go do an ablation with you. Oh, he's burning it. So they're burning it with a coil. That's how they're doing this. But this is not showing the photo I want to show you. It's not the best diagram in the world. This is how it actually looks, by the way. You're seeing all these diagrams, but this is how we actually see things. This is why I did not do cardiology. Let me show you. Let me show you how difficult it is. Look how difficult that is. Like, that's what they see, okay? Coils. They see it beating around in the heart, and they just have to kind of find where it might be. So, but anyway, you go up to, you don't want to burn the SA node, obviously. You'll kill the patient. Okay? So they avoid that. They know where that is, though. They pass right by that. They go to a place where they think the aberrant pathway is, and they burn that tissue. And you only do it in a very precise way, and you burn a very small segment of tissue, and hopefully you catch it, and you're done. What I think he has, I just remembered the term. I think Gariz, now Gariz, you tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm not off the top of my head. I'm not fully aware of your situation. But I would bet this one tricks people a lot. This is what I would look into, or at least see. I don't know what your EKG looks like. But Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome is definitely a cause, okay? But it's usually in infants and children. I don't know if you've had this forever in your life. Of course, that's what they're saying on Google and what have you. But this is the pathway, okay? It goes actually around the heart. The Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome will wrap around the heart. And it causes an entirely different pathway than what I'm explaining. So this is that SA node going down to the heart and around, like I said. But the Wolff-Parkinson-White will wrap left and right. And cause a lot of trouble. Anyway, let's read the rest of the questions here. How dangerous is this to have done? I don't think it's fair for me to comment, to be honest with you. I don't want to I don't want to create a number and just make it up and tell you that, because that would not be professional, nor would it be in your best interest and what have you. So I don't want to jump to telling you a number of how many people have trouble with this and that kind of thing, because like I said, I've not physically done one. But what I can tell you is that it's more dangerous not to have them done. Okay, the benefits outweigh the risk for sure. The question is, is that on an individual basis that needs to be decided. Obviously, if it's not a heart rate in the 170s and stuff that is consistent, and it happened once or twice or whatever, and you have a mild arrhythmia, you can know about that arrhythmia and just keep it cool. He could technically stay on the diastolic. Gariz could stay on that medication and never have to have an ablation, but he'd have to stay on that medication for the rest of his life, and it would still be a risky kind of thing if he ever got excited or anxious or took caffeine or got in a life-threatening situation, those things would kind of put them in a bad spot, right? So you kind of want to have the ablation done so you're not sitting around on medication your whole life, but it definitely, it's something you need to consider. But at the bottom line, I couldn't tell you exact numbers of how many people, have a problem with it, and die and whatever. I very low. Okay, very low. I could tell you less than 5% for sure. Otherwise, they wouldn't be. They would not be recommended to a young adult that is got a. But they have an algorithm of how they get to the point of needing to do an ablation, and it's likely because Gariz has gone to the hospital several times for this, and they've caught it on an EKG or on a readout. You don't just jump into an ablation as a first line treatment or even a second line treatment. It's something that's in treatment, but it's a very low risk, very monitored procedure. Probably even less risk than getting a facelift under when I do a facelift under IV sedation. That's probably more of a risk in some ways than getting an ablation because it's very monitored. But I can't tell you an exact number. I'd be doing the wrong thing for you. Dude, some crackers just took adult teeth out of my child's mouth. But you got to tell me about that, Hawaii. I don't know what you mean, man. So fill me in. If you want to hit the Discord button, go for it, and we can do that. It's 9:30 p.m. I think we're going to go ahead and... but anyway, I think we're going to go ahead and move on. I want to jump into some CS, get on some game action. But let's do this and see what we can get going. So I'm going to go ahead and change and transition now. I think I'm going to get over to my main crew, okay, which is the Counter-Strike. But I do this on Mondays. I'm going to start trying to do it actually, maybe even at the beginning of every stream if we have enough of a support for it. If there's enough people that have questions and stuff, I kind of build them throughout the week, and then I kind of catch them on a Monday evening. It's called Med Talk Mondays. That's what we do. And that's what we're going to start doing, okay? But that being said, I may add it in, like I said, as an every stream start to kind of just go over a topic, something specific. But Monkey Business, I do appreciate your follow. And I do encourage everybody to hit that follow button if you like what you're seeing and the like. And we'll go from there. Kentucky, I do appreciate that. Kentucky, I do appreciate the... Just up calling you Kentucky. Gal, lady, I appreciate the Twitch Prime subscription. And it should be popping up above my head here any minute. So I do appreciate that. And thank you guys. And I really appreciate the support. And I will continue to try to do these med talks if we get enough love, on that. So that's good. What you're seeing in the top screen, by the way, let's go and cut over there and see what's up. Okay. All right, so that is my actual heart rate down there, all right? So now we're in the game mode. So this is the game screen. This is actually Final Fantasy that I just realized that every Twitch Prime subscriber, since you did hit a Twitch Prime subscription, apparently we all have a free copy of this game until May 3rd. It was not really advertised, but we have a free copy of this game. Why not try it out, I'm not going to do it tonight. But I have another fellow streamer that has kind of got me excited about it. I've been watching him, and he has been streaming it and it looks kind of fun. I mean, I don't know if it's something I'm going to be sticking to as a main game. I know that a lot of people like to watch me for playing like kind of casual games like Subnautica and the like, Urkala, that kind of stuff. But we're gonna definitely not do that today, and I've got to get intense because I really want to get good. Like most people in medicine, we're type A personalities. I would not consider myself type A, but I'm definitely type A when it comes to video games, specifically for Counter-Strike, because I just picked this game up about a month ago, and I'm super intense about it. So I want to get good, and I want to practice, and some of the content is gonna bore some of the people, but that's okay. Feel free to peace out if this is not the segment that you want to be here for, and we'll definitely catch you guys on the flip side or see you around. But this is something I like to do. So we're hopefully, like I was talking about in the beginning of the talk about performance-enhancing drugs and esports, it definitely happens, okay? Am I using any right now? No, because I don't know enough about the game. But if I'm at the top tier and I'm in an esports situation and I'm getting really good, you damn right I'm going to use it, okay? Because everybody is. So don't kid yourself, all right? So No, these glasses are just for show, okay? That's just for the med talk. Now we're done with that bullshit. All right. Truth is out. The truth is out. All right, let me change over this title real quick. And then let me hit a couple things. I think we're set on that. Excellent. This is still downloading 9 minutes. I'm going to let it finish downloading. 7 Hamuda 22. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. I need to videotape my cat practicing her chest compressions and have you rate her technique. Yeah, I would love to do that. It would be great. What are you doing, Hamuda? How are you, man? Welcome to the stream. But anyway. All right, cool deal. So anyway, so what are we talking about? Well, we're closing up, actually. We're done with the med talk here, my man. But I will go back on the VOD and kind of grab the main segments of what I was talking about. And is it banned in esports? That's a good question. I don't know. I was arguing for the fact that it should not be, because it's impossible to regulate. Impossible unless you're taking a medication. Unless you're taking the medication and they are peeing onto a strip and they're testing for amphetamines in their urine, which I don't know if it would actually show up. I'm not sure on that, to be honest with you. I think it would. I think it would show up as an amphetamine on your urine test, because it is. It's just it's a different amphetamine. But I do not think it should be, because it's already it's definitely a required drug for some true medical problems, and it's impossible to implement. It's impossible to tell somebody they can't compete in a sport because they have a medical condition, at least in the esport world. That's my theory, or the way I feel about it. I don't think it's fair to tell somebody that has a true medical problem, such as not anxiety, but what do you call it, ADD. Or if they have, if they have attention deficit, if they have true attention deficit, or if they have daytime fatigue, and these are real problems, and it's a real problem, and they have no control over this, then I think it would be unfair to tell that person they couldn't play. But also the reason I don't think it should be banned is because it makes me better, to be honest with you. I'm not using it personally right now, but I can tell you from personal experience, those medications definitely make a difference in the way that you focus in a game, and it improves in performance. Is it fair that some people have it and some people don't? That's life. I mean, unfortunately, that's just the reality. I can go on and on, though, about other ways that people are cheating. If we want to talk about cheating, scripting is a real problem in CSGO in general. I'm not saying it happens in the esport level specifically, but it has in the past happened. We can watch a video on Forsaken right now, actually. Let me pull him up. Forsaken. It's kind of weird seeing myself do that. Cheating. Yeah, so this really happened, okay? And this
Honey is a free browser add-on available on Google.
Okay, so when you get people that are cheating and scripting, okay, this is a guy playing Counter-Strike, and, you know, he just happens to have, you know, an ability to aim lock or to see where people are behind walls. That's kind of not fair to do, right? To earn thousands of dollars for Optic Gaming by kind of seeing through walls. Kind of cheating, right? So when you got this kind of shit going on, I think they got bigger problems to worry about than Adderall, right? So that's my argument about it. So if you have that kind of stuff going on, you need to work on that first, and then we can talk about performance enhancing drugs. Of course, I would say that they should get rid of them if it's the only if we're going to be super clean. But then you got to ask: is caffeine what's banned and what's not? Is caffeine allowed? Is Red Bull allowed? If those things are allowed, then sure. And I think Adderall does definitely give you an edge. Okay, it definitely gives you an edge, but those scripts and people doing those kind of things are a much bigger problem, and I can go in and on about it.
And they need to work on that before they ever worry about, you know, is there a performance-enhancing drug problem? I think it might be. I'm not saying they both can't exist. I'm just saying it's not as a problem. It just isn't. If you have a hack or a cheat in the game, it's going to be much stronger or much better than anybody using any drug. But anyway, I digress. I'm done. So anyway, Hamuda, I will definitely be covering more talks, man, in the future, but we're going to move forward. Sure, but so does practice. Exactly. That too. And Adderall with practice is like, phew, that's like the shit. That's like the shit right there. That's like, you know? But no, I mean, like, does Adderall give you an edge on test? Here's my theory on this. Does Adderall give you an edge on testing? Yes. Okay, though I'll be honest and I'll admit it, okay? I used it during medical school. Why? Because everybody else was doing it. Everybody else was doing it. To the point that if I was taking a test and studying for a test 2 days in advance and I fell asleep and had a normal night of sleep and everybody else did not, those people scored at least 5 to 10 points higher than me on that test. I realized it, started seeing it, and said, fuck this, took the drug, did the same as those people, or better, and realized, holy shit, look at that, magic. So, and it was actually on the cardiology test, since we're talking about that. So my point is that these, you know, if everybody else is doing it, does that necessarily mean it should be allowed? No, but you're not going to stop them from doing it. So get with the program, you know? I don't know how else to say it. If there is a newborn baby that has been noticed blue around the lips, how do you know if it's a respiratory problem or CHD? Wow, we can get into that, dude. That's a full-blown topic. Holy shit. You just opened a whole can of worms. So now you're going into the 6 T's. You're going into the 6 T's, okay? Of cardiopulmonary problems of a baby newborn, and there's 6 T's that cause bluing, okay? Since you're trying to quiz me, Hamuda. You sound like you might be in medical school yourself or going down that road. But there's 6 T's, okay? And I can't remember them off the top of my head. Tetralogy of Fallot. I can't go through all of them. Tetralogy of Fallot is one of the biggest ones. Transposition of the great vessels. Since you're making me pull this out of my ass on the fly. Those are the 2 big ones. Transposition of the great vessels, Tetralogy of Fallot. I also am not a baby cardiologist, but those are 2 of the big ones. Those will make cyanosis, is what you're talking about. Bluing of the lips, cyanosis. Okay, big word again. Cyanosis. In a newborn. And those are all real problems. And those are all surgical problems, and they need to be fixed. There's nothing you can do about that. Now, knowing whether it's a respiratory problem or what you call, you're writing down CHD. I don't know what you mean by CHD. Are you trying to say coronary, or are you trying to say congestive heart disease, or a coronary heart disease, or what are you trying to say there? Congenital heart disease? I think that's what you're trying to say, congenital heart disease. If you're going down that road, congenital heart disease, like I said, versus a respiratory problem being cyanosis, you got to look at those 6 T's, make sure those are the 6 T's are going to be, if it's a heart problem, if it's a respiratory problem and only a respiratory problem, then your heart is going to look normal on echo, first of all. Okay? So since you're wanting to get into that specific question, I wonder if you Googled that up right now. That sounds like a medical board question. Yeah, congenital. I know. So you're saying, you're asking me to be answering your question, not beat around the bush. You're saying you have a newborn baby. He's blue in the lips. How do you know if it's the heart or if it's the lung? Simple question, right? Heart or lung? How do you know? Well, you consider both at the first part. It doesn't, you know, you give him 100% O2, okay? You max up his O2, and if you do a heart test, if you look at the echo, you're going to see a normal echo on a kid that's probably got a respiratory problem. Just off of my head, okay? You can answer me now. You can do just one thing. Apply. That's what I just said. 100% O2, bro. I just said it. Done. You apply the 100% O2. Go back and replay that. Somebody hit boom replay real quick. You hit the 100% O2, and if their sats come back up, that is a respiratory problem. Okay. If they are not saturating well, even with 100% O2, then they have a transposition to great vessels, tetralogy of Fallot, and there's 4 other T's that are a anatomical structural problem, and those problems will not allow you to have adequate O2 set. If it's in the lung, the blue will go. There you go, Hamuda. Good test, dude. I appreciate testing like that. You have to make sure I'm a real doctor, right? But hey, just so you know, that was a good question. I appreciate getting challenged. That kind of challenge, though, that kind of question, I have not dealt with that shit since third year medical school, so give me a break. That's been, hold on, let me think. 5 years ago. 5 or 6 years ago. Damn. But yeah, man, I appreciate you bringing it up. Seriously, I do. Damn. Yeah, we can go over some of the heart anomalies for sure, for kids and babies, if anyone's got any of those. Beneath the mask, there is a man. Beneath the man, there is a... Beneath the mask, there is a man. God, you guys are coming at me with some weird shit. Beneath the mask, there is a man. Beneath the man, there is an ass, dude. That's it. That's it, man. Get on it, dude. Get on it. Welcome to Miami, dude. I don't know the quote, man. I don't know the movie. Nucleus? I went with ass, dude. I went with ass. I thought you were telling me to fill in the letters, man. I was going for it. I went all in. Nacho Libre. I haven't seen it, man. But anyway, welcome to the stream, G-Sound. Hamuda, welcome, guys. All right, let's chill out and let's get some game here. Let's get some action. Dude, Hamuda, I really appreciate that question, dude. ECG, it's not common in local hospitals here, so we will use O2. Yeah, that's all you need to do. You apply O2. Look, you know what? Since you brought it up, you got me excited about it. Let's talk about it for a second, okay? Real quick. Okay, that's the music that's playing in the background. Apologize. Okay, I got to look at the 6 T's of congenital heart disease. Where are you? What do you do, man? Or lady? Let me see here. That was a good question, man. I like that. Now that shit wakes me. That engaged my brain. You put me to the test. Hold on, I'm trying to look at the 6 T's. I want to see the 6 T's. Pardon my coughing. If anyone wants to throw hard questions and stump me, please do it. You may teach me something or remind me of something. You can do it on ECG. I have heard that, what you were saying. That actually, I think, is the correct test, or I think that's the correct answer sometimes, but I think the medical board question is you apply oxygen. If I would apply oxygen. I did it to my kid. Does that tell you anything? I did it to my kid. My kid woke up with, so I want to give you a quick example since you brought it up. My 2-year-old daughter, current 2-year-old, almost 3-year-old, ended up spending a month in the ICU. And the time that she was in the ICU was when she was born. She was born with she was blue, all over, okay? And her scores, I forgot what they're called, not Malampati, I'm making shit up. It's like the 2 scores of the kid. I can't remember off the top of my head now that I'm thinking of it. Anyway, they were low, okay? They were like less than 6. So long story, Apgar, thank you. You're fucking not coming to me. So she was less than 6, okay? She was blue and shit. She wasn't crying. So when they put her in the other room, they applied oxygen, and she was still blue in some ways. And that really worried me. I remember that. So I went in there and I started complaining because I was like, her sats are 100% or 96%. Why the fuck is she blue? And I started bitching at the ICU attending or boss. I call them bosses because they run the hospital. The ICU guy, and he said, today he didn't take my badge, but he's like keep your badge, but he didn't say that, but he goes, look, he goes, today you're not doctor, and I'm not gonna say my last name. You guys may know my last name. It's fine, whatever. He's like, today you're not Dr. So-and-so. Today you are dad. And I was like, damn you, dude. I don't want to go down this road. Don't take me out of my own care of my kid. But he did. He kind of did. So I kind of just had to become dad and listen and watch them do things. He stuck the finger, and her hematocrit came back, okay, as 9. I don't know if you guys know what that means, but 9, you divide that by 3, obviously, so it's like a hemoglobin of 3.
So she had like a hemoglobin of 3, which is basically not compatible with life in some ways. It can be, obviously, in a trauma patient or whatever, but it's really low. And just for an example, Urkala here and Damon and Kentucky Gal and me, we all have a hematocrit of somewhere around 12 to 15, right? But depending on how dehydrated or how much meat we eat or if we're anemic or whatever. But anemia of 3 is really low. If you think about it in a kid, we don't talk about hemoglobins, we talk about hematocrits, but regardless, it's 3 if you need to think about it. So 25% of the normal blood, if you will. So anyway, she got emergent blood transfusions, like 3 of them, and NG tube and all sorts of stuff, and was pumped full of stuff, and somehow made it out without any problems with her brain or any anoxic events, and didn't have any ischemia to her brain. And we did MRIs, and we did all this. Since we're talking medical now, it sounds like some people know what they're talking about, so I'm talking in medical terms. Anyway, long story short, what was I going to say? She ended up just basically having she bled internally into her mom, okay, but it was a slow bleed. So somehow she lived through the whole process for the like 4 months where she was running low blood. Now she's very healthy. But the reason I'm bringing it up is that this 6T thing came to my mind, and I remember thinking, oh shit, my kid has one of these problems, but unfortunately I did not. I'm going to read back on the chat here real quick. You guys are lighting up the chat here. I want to read something. Do you still play Blackout at all? No, I don't. Well, yes and no. No, I don't. I'm not going to lie to you, Kentucky. I do, but I don't. I did. I played it pretty competitively with Gariz and with Damon, who are both kind of in and out of the chat right now. Understand that that game kind of died miserably on PC. If I was to stream that, I would have 5 viewers or less. Yeah, I don't know. It just the gameplay in general bores the shit out of me. You'll see in the CSGO plays that it's a lot more competitive and a lot more gets my heart rate up, gets me intense, makes me excited, makes me more interested in trying to get better. Blackout, we were Damon was carrying me obviously, but even with me and Damon, we had over a 22 kill game and won for our Code Red qualifiers. And then Gariz and Damon together sent me a photo because they're assholes, and it was like a 32 bomb or something. I don't remember. But they had like we got really too good at it, to be honest. Not to be a cocky asshole, but we got too good at it. Maybe because people started leaving or whatever. But the game also just got dry, and there was not enough of a community there to maintain the game. That's the real truth. There's not enough community there. The game didn't stay alive on Twitch long enough. I'm a Twitch view whore. I have to chase the people that are wanting to watch something. I'm sorry, I just tell the truth. And I also want to enjoy the game I'm playing. So I'm not going to just play Fortnite, okay? You know, it is what it is. So that's the answer to that question. Hamuda, I appreciate the follow, dude. I'm glad I got a rite of passage from you. That was a hard follow to earn right there. Shake my head G sound. If you ever want a good answer to something like, don't ask that, dog keys, well, let's say we love them anyway. Oh, I don't know what she yeah. Okay, yeah, that's true. I have another question, though, and I need to know the answer. Oh, God, this guy's coming at me with another question now. So, okay, so he threw the follow at me because I finally got by. I barely got by his first question. Barely. I got caught off guard almost. Like, I called an audible, though. I was like, oh, shit, this guy's coming at me full speed. And I kind of, you know, you'll give me a buy on that one. And now he's like, I got another question for you, and if you get this one right, congratulations, I'll stay around. If you don't, then I'm going to unfollow real quick, and I'm piecing the fuck out with the middle finger. That's what he's thinking. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, hit me with your other question. Guy, but honestly, though, I really want to know, do you work like, you know, in a medical field? You sound like you do. When you drop in words like CHD and direct questions like that, it sounds very medical related. Anyway, this guy doesn't even know about the nucleus. Fair. Well, he doesn't know the quote. There's a difference. You're joking around, yeah. I know he's joking. G sounds a cool guy, man. I can already tell this guy's cool. Anyway, I think G sound's been here before. Maybe I could be wrong, but sounds like a familiar name. Anyway, when it gets when it get to relatives, doctors get confused. Yes. No, it's not that I got confused necessarily, Hamuda. I just started telling them what to do when they were in charge, which isn't the right thing to do. And then I also realized that they actually saw it more on a day-to-day basis. The same way when you came at me with that question, I don't see it on a day-to-day basis. So you noticed it took me a second to kind of figure out what the hell, you know, how am I going to approach this? they already know exactly what they're doing because they see it every day. So they need to be in charge. And for me throwing in a third voice almost confuses them, right? I get confused, but it also confuses them. It makes the whole room a little bit more amplified than it needed to be. As soon as we tested the hemoglobin, we knew it was bad. We gave him blood. Problem solved, right? So anyway, let's see. Thank you for that follow. You're not a whore. You're not a whore. You would be on Apex. Yikes. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm AC. I'm AC. A first year student. I'm AC. What the hell's AC? Dude, you're throwing all these like... Why don't I know what AC is? Air conditioner? Because that's what I need right now. My wife likes to turn this thing into the Africa. You know? When you're living with someone from North Africa, they like to turn it into a 90-degree shitfest in Miami, and I need to text right now and be like, turn the AC on. Like, this is retarded. But that's all I'm thinking of. But what AC do you mean? You know? I don't know. Anyway, see banana, go to banana porn, I guess. But anyway, so what I was going to say real quick, let's go over here. I want to quickly look at, put on my big girl pants and deal with it. No, I hate sweating my ass off, man. Seriously, it annoys me. Okay. Is this the 6? Why can't I find the 6? Do they not exist on this planet? There we go. Well, sort of. I'm seeing some of them, so it's reminding me. This page is reminding me. So, tetralogy of Fallot. That's what I was telling you guys earlier. Okay. So TOF is the more common one. We can go over what that means in kids. This is what will cause bluing of the lips when they're born and will remain that way even if you give them oxygen because it's an anatomical plumbing problem, and we can go over what that actually is. Very commonly set up with kids with Down syndrome, but also it could be on its own. Tricuspid atresia, which is a fancy way of saying the one of the valves that we were talking about in the heart is just not made. It's like it was not fully formed, so they got to go in and basically balloon that baby open, right? That's not the right answer, by the way. You have to create one, and they usually, I don't know the timing of when they do it, so don't ask me. Transposition of the great arteries, great vessels. I said great vessels, great arteries, same thing. Not really, but they're actually incorrect. It's transposition of the great vessels. It is the arteries. Okay. Anyway, so that's 3 of the T's. What was the other one I mentioned? So that's 3 of them. But there's more. There's more. Why can't I find the damn page for it? There's 6 of them total that I can remember off the top of my head. Now, since we're studying together, right? Because I'm trying to remember. Clearly, I'm not prepared to talk about children's heart defects. But regardless, it's just a reminder. It's a good. Now that he brought the question up, I'm teaching myself to remind myself and reinforce it. I need to see the 6 T's. Where are they? Does anyone have a page on this? I cannot believe they don't have an acronym on this. Nope. Fair enough. 6, congenital heart disease. T's. Is this going to show it? No, that's tetralogy of Fallot. Wait a minute. There we go. Some med student trying to, they call it 5 T's. They only have 5 here. But some medical student wrote them down. Here we go. Tetralogy of Fallot, transposition of the great arteries, whatever. Truncus arteriosus. Yeah, that'll do it. Tricuspid valve abnormalities or tricuspid atresia. And then total anomalous pulmonary venous return. That is a bad one. I was combining 2 into 1 there. That is a bad one, yeah. And then there's tons of others. Well, okay, like what? They have some other pulmonary atresia, hyperplastic, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I don't buy that. Tons of others. There's another one. Nope. We've covered them all. We can go over what those are. I don't want to get into it and bore everybody in the stream, but yeah, great arteries equals great vessels, but that's why they broke it down, because great arteries and then total anomalous pulmonary venous return is a big one. But anyway,
All right, I don't understand this medical stuff, and I'm not willing to learn. Hit me up if you can on CS. Yeah, I'm not interested in learning it again anyway right now and going over it because nobody has a baby problem. But I was just going to say, these are real problems, okay? So there's 5 of them at least. I think there's 6. I can't remember the 6th one off the top of my head. I might be combining the 2 of them. But that's fine. Okay, now we're going to get back on the stream. On the CS, okay? Oh, here we go. Now I'm seeing some questions. Move to Canada, okay, whatever. So how to differentiate between heart failure and unstable angina? Why, is this like one of those one-word answers for you? Is this one of those one-word answers for you? By the way, Damon, you got to stop losing those coins, man. You got to stop losing those coins. For everybody that's new to the stream, we do have these coins, okay, for a market. Feel free to take a look at the type exclamation point market and see what we have to sell. But you have to earn those coins, and you don't want to throw them away like Damon's doing. Don't follow what Damon's doing. By the way, what was I going to say? The most commonly used term in my stream from last stream was roulette. That was the most commonly chatted word. I'm not lying. Like when I went back and looked at the stream, they always tell me my most commonly used term. The most commonly chatted thing in my chat was roulette. So yeah, there's a lot of people doing that. Okay, let me answer this question real quick. I'm going to go back and read. Something about arresting. Okay. Heart failure and unstable angina. I'm going to get back to that in a second. I just want to read the rest of the chat because I'm going to ignore it if I don't. I'd rather be cold than hot. Yes, I would rather be cold than hot. Exactly. Hot sucks. Hot sucks, especially when you're trying to stream and you're trying to get all these umbrella lights and all this nonsense, and then you're trying to be intense. It sucks. So I'm going to go in there and raise hell. Anyway, great arteries, a great vessel. Yeah, we already went over that. All right, we already went over that. Banana porn. Yeah, we went over that. Okay, cool. It's because of Damon. I don't know AC. Yeah, I don't either. The signs look alike, I guess. And he's addicted. We'll have to find out a nice casino to have meetings at him. Yep, I know. He's addicted to those things. Okay, so here we go. What was I going to say? Unstable angina and heart failure. You're asking me how do you tell the difference between the two? Between unstable angina and heart failure? Like with now you're saying the signs look alike. Yeah, they look alike. Unstable angina and heart failure, I think you're trying to say, are you trying to say MI? Is that what you're trying to say? Because that's the more commonly compared thing, is a heart attack from unstable angina, or unstable angina / MI, I guess, leading to MI. But if you're talking about heart failure, simply put, man, heart failure, you're going to have an unstable angina between the two. You got to run a slew of tests. First of all, when somebody comes in with chest pain in your ER, I'm just going off the cusp now because I don't know where you're guiding this question. But if you're kind of just asking me to elaborate, I can tell you that when someone comes in the ER and they have chest pain, you have to order almost always. I don't care how young they are. You have to order your troponins, 3 of them, at least 2 actually, but 3. You can do 3. Yeah. Okay, that's what I figured. You're comparing MI versus unstable angina. So it's simply put, it's the troponin. That's the answer. I figured your question was going to be MI versus unstable angina. So for the rest of the chat, so we're not sitting here just like talking over your guys' head, because this guy's like coming at me full speed with these medical questions. What these terms mean: unstable angina means chest pain that could lead. It's caused by an ischemic event, but it hasn't caused any. It causes ischemia, which means constriction of the oxygen or blood to the heart, but it doesn't cause heart death. It doesn't cause heart death. It hasn't caused, sorry, I should say this. It hasn't caused heart death. We term that unstable angina. Okay? That's all we say. Unstable angina, meaning it could lead to heart death, but it hasn't gone there. Okay? And then you have MI on the other end, which means myocardial infarction, which means myocardial heart tissue death. Okay? So MI is very bad, meaning the heart has died. Unstable angina is also very bad, but it hasn't led to the heart death. How do you tell the difference? Is in the troponin. Okay, your troponin values will continue to go up, meaning a number that is based on your it's a protein in your heart. That number is going to continue to go up in somebody that has heart death over those 3 tests. Whereas somebody with unstable angina, they might have a mildly elevated troponin on 1,
but then they're not going to go up, okay? But it's unstable. It's considered unstable versus stable if it keeps happening, if it's progressively if it's causing troponin changes, and if they're in chest pain, if they're in severe pain, and it constantly having it happen when they're walking, when they're moving around in a they get up and they walk and they have chest pain 5 feet, that kind of stuff. That's unstable. Okay, it's not controlled, and that's one way to think about it. Now, stable versus unstable chest pain, I don't want to get into. I think it's boring, but we can do that at some point. I just think it's kind of boring. But the bottom line is that you got many reasons to have chest pain. Okay, one of the things, I don't want to get into one of the viewers' stories too much, but one of the viewers that already came in and talked about his heart problem earlier had mentioned to me he had chest pain, and I told him if his heart rate is fine and all that stuff has been checked out, then it could be reflux. Okay, I didn't misguide him in telling him that it could be reflux, but then he continued to get his heart checked, and it turns out he does have an arrhythmia and he's getting ablation. So, or he had an ablation and he's getting another one. So that's there's many reasons to have chest pain. Okay, it's not just anxiety can cause chest pain. It's not just a heart attack, but you have to rule out the worst. Have to rule out the worst, and once you rule out the worst and you realize that they're not having any of that, then you're good to go. All right, this chat has gone an hour and 42 minutes, guys. A lot longer than I expected for the medical talk. So I'm gonna definitely slide out now, like out the side door, hop into the games. But it has been great to have you guys in here and talking about this. It's gonna be a total change of events now. But it seems like you guys really like this. So I'm gonna do it more. Okay, I promise. We're gonna keep it to the medical talk Mondays. I'll continue to do these 8 p.m. on Mondays. Is my goal. 8 p.m. on Mondays. I will shoot out a message on Twitter if I can't do it, and I will continue. I can continue to do them every start of every stream for at least 30 to 40 minutes before we start doing anything game related, depending on how much interest there is. So again, he loses all the coins. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the game, but I'm gonna go to the game based on this. Okay, I want to talk about some stuff real quick. Am I a cardiologist, Hamuda? Thank you for saying that, kind of. I don't know if that was sounds like a nice compliment. I'm going to take it as a compliment, but no, I'm not. We have to study everything in the body, though, to understand our specialty. I am a facial surgeon. I do facial reconstructive surgery of the face and jaw and neck. So that's what I do. But cardiology is it's a specialty we all have to know about. And then we have to know about the pulmonology. We can go over that one day. We have to know about nephrology, the kidneys. You have to know about all these things, which is I appreciated your questions. I really did. That's the kind of stuff I like. I like those kind of questions because they were challenging and they require me to actually think. They came out of the blue too. I didn't expect something real. I expected like, how's the heart work? Something like, and this guy's like asking a specific thing. What do you do to the kid? Kid's dying. He's blue lips. What do you do? I love that. That was good. That was a good start. You want to be a cardiologist? Well, then, you're on the path. You're asking the right questions. So stick to it. Your first year student, definitely hang out with us. I can help you out. I can try to give you some good sources. I definitely know a few. Back in the day when I had to study it. I see that I was told CSGO was a nice dude. He's a Yep, exactly. Sorry, I'm getting some DMs about people saying, so I'm playing CSGO with a guy and he's a doctor, and then other people are saying, sure, he's a doctor. And then it's like, yeah, there are people that fake it. Dude, there's so many fucking people that piss me off, man, that carry this title doctor in their name. And that's why I don't carry the word doctor in my name. Okay, because I get tired of this doctor so-and-so, and they're not a doctor. Like, don't do that shit to us. We work very hard for what we did, Like, if you're a doctor, say you're a doctor of love or something, but fuck, give us a break. But anyway, no, I definitely will look forward to having you. And actually, Hamuda, what I might do, like I said, check out every stream, because I very well may implement it into the beginning of every stream now. It seems to be a huge hit, I had people that told me for weeks, do this, and this is your angle in Twitch, and do this. And I said, okay, fine. But, I like playing games too. Like, I do this all day, so I prefer to, wind down, obviously, like every other human being. But at the same time, I want to you know, I want to provide some good stuff for you guys too. So, anyway, and I do answer questions on the fly even during the game, but I try to direct those towards these little segments. Anyway, regardless, we're done chatting about that. I'm gonna go ahead and transition now. Where's my sounds are all messed up, dude. Sounds are all messed up. Let's turn that up a little bit. Let's throw on the synth. Is it working? We got some audio going? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Very good. Okay, so what we're going to do, I want to go over the couple changes in the game. I want to change everything over. That's the other thing. Let's make sure everything's set up. Excellent. Okay. I want to go over a couple changes real quick. So this, not this. Performance enhancing drug article we'll come back to. I'm going to bookmark that. It's nice to have. Pardon my coughing. Okay, I want to go over this. So they have this this map now called Vertigo, right? Map callouts, CSGO. Okay, so since I'm changing the thing around, I'm going to go ahead and throw it up on just streaming and take that off, and we'll turn it into a regular thing here. Switch it back over to the dashboard. Change all this around. Select a game, title, all this good stuff. Okay, so let's see. Road to face it. Road to FPL. Okay, update all that, and let's update all these games. So we're gonna update all that. Okay, I want to be a cardiologist. Yeah, no, I'll be here every day on Monday. Excellent. Okay, I have a practical exam after tomorrow. Oh, then you got some work to do. You don't need to be in here anymore. You need to go work. I understand, man. Well, I appreciate you coming by, and like I said, if you have any, you can always hit the Discord too. You can send me messages whenever if you have some sort of question or whatever. I'm more than happy to help. Okay. So that's our Discord. You can just join, hang out, whatever. It's up your call. And so anyway, you know, find ways to DM me or whatever if you need anything. All right, man. Take it easy, okay? Good seeing you. And actually, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna cut to a very short break, and then I'm going to transition into this. I'm gonna transition into this game. Okay, so we're going to cut into a break, dudes. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit.
just be another knot to tie around my bed at night. I know I've lost the fight to erase your face, my mind. Awake, I lie here staring up beyond the sky. Oh.
All right, dudes. Let's do this. Let's fucking win, man. Let's fucking win. No more kitty talk. Yeah. Sorry, I was just reading some DM action. All right, here we go. Fixed my resolution. We're back to the action. Back to the real deal. I need to start my Faceit client. I need to get the stuff running, the good stuff running. The anti-cheat action. Do I want to allow it? Yeah, let's allow it. All right. and I need to get this stuff over here. So, yeah. So the thing with the thing with CSGO is that it's a very competitive game. That's one of the reasons I like it so much. I don't know why, but it's true. Oh, I got to kill the stream, dudes. I just realized that. I don't have a stream delay. Changing that right now. I'll be back. This ETA out. 2 minutes maybe.